So we're here with an after-hours interview of Erasmus from the Lord Inquisitor movie that's coming out August 28th. So make sure you check out their Facebook page over there for the grand unveiling of the prologue to the actual movie. So how's it going today? Thanks for joining us.
Hey man, yeah, it's a pleasure to be on the show, and I'm also happy that finally I have something new to show, and I'm really excited for everyone to watch it.
Well, I'll tell you what, like all those, updates and trailers and things you do throughout the years, I mean, every one of them that come out, like people just start talking about it. They're like, man, I can't wait for this thing to come out. And like, how do you gauge the response on your end? Like when you see this stuff, does it help or hinder you, I guess?
Oh yeah, it's obviously it's the biggest motivation when you see that the stuff you create that people actually want to see it. Huh? I started with a very small blog, and I was just doing it for myself, and pretty much had no idea where the project was going to and which direction. So I keep pushing and pushing the quality, and more people came by and really liked it. So I'm always keen on pushing the quality, and I think it pays off for people just see it. When you're a fan of the hobby.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like we talk about on the Long War a lot. Like everybody goes into a game store and they're like, they see like the Dreadnought or they see like Space Marines, and that's their thing, and it gets them into the hobby. And I tell you what, like I came on, I think I noticed the project in like 2013, so I was like a couple of years late, like noticing it, I guess, air quotes. Yeah. And I immediately, I was like, how did I miss this? And I did a big post about it on Spiky Bits, and I was like, I'm embarrassed that I missed this. And, took some screenshots of all of that. So like, in case there are some folks out there, because this project has been going on for a while, what is the Lord Inquisitor?
So the Lord Inquisitor is basically a short movie about obviously Warhammer 40k. So, but it's specifically focusing on the Inquisition. So I found this most interesting, and I really wanted to show something that shows kind of the beauty of the universe with like all the dark stuff and the grim darkness, and so something that really makes it justice. So I originally get to the universe by looking at the art books and all the illustrations. Are like, man, this stuff is super awesome. And as I'm a 3D artist, I thought like, man, I could totally make this in 3D. And at that point, there wasn't really so much animations available. I think there was something from Dawn of War or so that I might have seen. And so I thought like, man, I can do this myself now. I started developing, and obviously I had a lot of learning experience as I was also doing character models and environments, which is not that usual. So I was constantly trying to push it and to develop a short story that, you can just watch and enjoy. And originally it was always planned to be a free-time project, like it is still for today. It just costs time, basically, from my side, but it's totally free for everyone to watch, and so are the updates as well. And I just like to publish this stuff, as I think the art style and the universe is amazing. So hopefully I can do some justice in the visuals, and just make some cool stuff basically with it. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. Like I've seen the prologue. I saw the screener copy, and I mean, it's got everything in it. You got all of your elements to the grimdark. It's almost like a cross between Judge Dredd and the fluff to everything we've come to know. Out of those artworks and those storybooks. And I think you guys did an amazing job. So let's talk about your team, because you got a bunch of folks working on it that obviously are also volunteering in their free time. Yeah. Who all what all has gone into this for you guys, like personnel wise?
So there's a long journey basically with a team. So I started as a single person basically, but I was able to ramp up quite a lot of people, especially as the first trailer came out. But it quickly became kind of difficult to handle when there was like many people, and as the money is not involved, so everything is for free, and so people came in and say like, yeah man, I totally want to help out, and they're like, yeah, just model this, and they're like, oh no thanks. It's like, what? So it was a bit weird sometimes, but from all the people, you find out at some point who's really reliable. And with these people, I still kind of hang out today and do the project. So it's heavily condensed now, and everyone does their best to find some time. I'm the most crazy person on the project, so I'm really working hardcore on this stuff. But it's so cool to see other people doing the stuff I asked them for free, basically, and. And a friend of mine, Sohail, who's the animator, and you've probably seen some videos from him. It's really amazing how he pulls off the quality, and he was basically just working on The Witcher 3, and so we're all kind of industry professionals, basically, who are doing this. So even besides our demanding job, I could say, we still try to make some time and really focus on this. But now, as the team is really small and condensed to the very essential people, it's way easier to handle and to run the whole project. So yeah.
Oh wow! So I mean, it's incredible what you guys have done with like literally zero budget. You're like, your time is your money basically at this point, and it has been 6 years. But I mean, even the small amount of things you have put out has been inspiring and amazing quality altogether. Like I think the prologue that's coming out, it's not like. It's not an action-packed like Die Hard movie or anything that a lot of us like 40K junkies are like, yeah, Space Marines, rah! But like it's more of like, hey, this is the grimdark, and that's what I like about it, because like I had to watch it twice because there's so much going on in the background, and there's a story, and I was like, okay, let me go back and look at the story and try to figure out who's who and who's doing what and stuff. It's like it's kind of like a double-edged sword of like awesome. I feel like do you get that feeling too when you're like, haha, I put this guy in there, I wonder if they notice, like is that a thing?
Yeah, sure. They're actually you probably haven't noticed, I have actually put 2 Easter eggs in, which
I might have seen one of them.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm gonna maybe unveil them at some point, but it's just very small ones. So of course I like to put some stuff in here and there, with like, maybe let's see if somebody noticed. But however, I know that all the 40K fans have a very, very good eye for the stuff. So now I have some people also I work with that are really, really familiar with the universe, much better than I am probably, and I always get back to them and say like, hey, is it possible when I show this and this, does this lead to any stuff that wouldn't work? So we do some research and see like, is this possible to show this character next to this guy in this environment, basically, if this would make sense. So this was very important to me, that everything we show is true. And also, 40K is obviously a lot about war, and shooting and action and stuff. However, in the books, I mostly like the parts that were not about battle stuff, but more about the conspiracy and the people behind it. Especially Horus Heresy. How Horus completely changes the mind, obviously, but with the help of some warp force, but. It's just so cool to see how these people, how this whole stuff is working behind, and obviously the action is just the cherry on top for me. So also for the whole Lord Inquisitor, I have planned to show an action scene, obviously, some war scene, but for the prologue, I really wanted to allow people to dive into this universe, to see lots of the environments shot and say like, man, this looks beautiful, and to show something more than just a destroyed battlefield, pretty much. This is for later.
Right. Yeah. But, I mean, you're not selling the video game. You're not like, go buy this right now and start playing. You're basically selling the fluff, the idea in the background of, well, I mean, not selling, but conveying the story of all of that. And I think it's fantastic. I think you really nailed it. I can't wait to see the action scenes too, because I'm a man, and we want that. But
sure.
But it'll be cool to see it all together and how it plays out, I feel like. So and then you guys are planning on that for what, next year, the full animated movie short, I guess?
Yes. So obviously the characters are now all complete. which was a very, very long ride. Especially Marcus, the main character. It's the 4th version I made of him, so I modeled this guy 4 times.
Oh wow!
Pretty much, just because the skills get better, and I'm very keen on the quality, and I have a very trained eye when I look at this. Like, this could be better, maybe, and but now the quality is cool. I'm happy with it. It's quite advanced techniques that are in there in this product. So now as these things are done, it's easier to produce more content. So it's planned for 2017, but you've seen with the prologue, I thought I would be I would have finished it like almost 3 months ago. But man, it's like sometimes I have this idea, and I remember when I was working on the prologue, man, let's just add maybe this, and this can't be so hard, and then
yep,
you sit there,
you go down that rabbit hole.
Working on it, and it looks cool in the end, and it was totally worth it, But so there's probably the downside of not having a producer behind your back who's like, next month we have to release, So. Yeah, so it's definitely planned for next year, but I can't promise too much, I guess, of if it will be exactly the month.
That's fair.
It's a bit of guesswork, right? It's like.
Oh, I agree. So, do you have plans, depending on how the community response and feedback from all the various entities out there that you're involved with, for future installments to your story? What if you get picked up? What if you get a budget? Is that what you're hoping for? Or are you willing to move forward with things, I guess?
Yeah, of course. My first idea obviously was to make a full feature movie out of this, right? As we all want this, we all want to sit down for like at least 90 minutes and watch some cool Warhammer stuff. But obviously this is way far beyond impossible for me to create on my free time. Honestly, this is where you need like 100 people for.
You need like a studio.
Yeah, of course. The stuff I'm lucky that I have. I'm working in the industry. And I know professionals, and I can borrow stuff, and I can do this, and I couldn't do that. So this is why the quality is so incredibly high already. But this is, it's a different thing to make this for like 15 minutes or to make this for 90 minutes. It's just crazy. So budget-wise, it would be obviously totally cool to get some real producers on board and to continue working on this on a bigger scale, basically, right? This is basically what the whole stuff is aimed for. I designed so much for this, especially for Marcus. I think he's a very interesting character, as you never really know what's he up to.
He seems like quite the scamp, for sure.
Yeah. I totally changed his personality during the development process. First, I designed him totally like true to everything, to the codex, right? It's like, I'm doing everything the Lord Inquisitor is demanding, and I will do the right thing, right? And it's not like, man, this is somehow pretty boring. And I completely flipped his character and made him like, he's still fighting for the right thing, but his workflows are kind of questionable, you could say. It's like, it's not the Inquisitor that you would put in the books. We're like, this is how it's done.
No, I think we all have those character flaws, so it definitely comes out in the prologue, I feel like.
Yeah, you should really think like, what the fuck is this guy? So it's really, he's a very interesting personality, I think. So it makes it cool when you really don't know what's he gonna do next, right?
But that's that drama we all want. So that'll be cool to see unfold as kind of like a part with the Grimdark as the backdrop. I feel like. So man, I'm really stoked on that. So obviously this stuff takes a huge amount of time, to do, and as you said, doing it all in your free time. Have you had any time to hobby? Do you hobby, or were you just smitten with the whole universe off the bat?
Well, from everything with Warhammer related, I pretty much collect like codex and books, and whenever there's some collection coming out, like the collected Horus Heresy stuff, and so with all the artworks, I collect this. However, I have no time to play Warhammer. I used to play it when I was younger, and I collected some miniatures, and this was also the first time when I saw like the Space Marines. I was like, man, this is super cool. I was really young there. There was a spin-off. I was come back to it. It's in Germany it was called Star Quest, where I think everywhere else it was called Space Crusade, I think.
Oh yeah, wow,
The
yeah,
Fox version, right?
the Milton Bradley game.
Yeah, and there was like on the cover you saw the commander, with the short military hair, like yeah, man. And then
Yep.
the background you saw the kind of dreadnoughts walking, and I thought like, man, this is super cool, And I saw the designs from the Space Marine. I think it was the Blood Angels, and I had no idea what this was. So I just thought like Space Crusades or Star Quest, how it was called here. So like, okay, that's a game, and just years later, I found out that this is basically Warhammer 40,000. It's a way bigger universe, and I was completely didn't know about this. This is how I got into this, and then read a lot on Lexicon on how this all works, but to paint all the miniatures and then to go out with somebody and play the stuff is really taking a lot of time, and
it does.
For my stuff, I like to paint them in 3D, and I have an undo button there. It's way better.
I wish I had an undo button. Undo button, just taking it back outside and respraying it.
Yeah, exactly. And then do some cinematic versions of this. So this is where I put my stuff.
Well, I definitely like your version of the hobby, almost better than mine, almost. So that's cool. We all make the hobby go round, and it's really neat to see this project. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today, and about the new prologue coming out. Of course, the full on movie that's going to be out at some point next year.
At some point,
to be determined, of course. But hopefully, we can get back together there.
Sure.
Talk about it some more, because I'm sure this is going to go over well. It's just going to be like the appetizer for a lot of people. I feel like.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people will like it. Obviously, it took a long time, but finally it's complete. And this is very cool also for me to have finally achieved this. To be able to say that I finally completed it after such a long time.
No, it's awesome. It's one of those things that people will be talking about, for a number of years. But like, hey, yeah, remember the Lord Inquisitor movie? Oh yeah,
I was there when it released.
Yeah, I was there. I was in the hobby then. All we had was like these little trailers, and then they dropped it. And like, no, it's cool. The new generation of hobbyists is really gonna, see this, and it's really gonna kind of get inside the psyche of a lot of people. I feel like, especially now with the moves that Games Workshop's making to kind of connect with everybody a little bit better too. I feel like so. I imagine it's going to be pretty mainstream. So I'm hoping you're pleasantly surprised with the response from it. So
I can't wait. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think we're all pulling for you here for sure. So, but I know you're a busy man, so we'll let you go and get back to what you got. Putting the finishing touches on everything over there. And thanks so much for being on with us too.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos,